Let's talk about Toyota in today's video. As the advantages of owning an electric vehicle outshine that of a gas-powered automobile, Tesla and some other EV-selling brands tend to gain more and more customers annually. Well, who wouldn't want to, with gasoline costs skyrocketing daily? It is no news that Tesla has been on top of the game in the EV world, with others such as Ford, Hyundai, and General Motors gradually racing to catch up with them. Although the giant Toyota appear to be getting behind Tesla and everyone in the EV race. Why is this so? And how can this affect Toyota's dominance in the next 5 to 10 years? Toyota Motors became the favorite automaker of United States environmentalists and eco-conscious customers around 2 decades ago with the Prius hybrid. This electrified vehicle was among the cleanest and most fuel-efficient cars ever created. After some time, the demand for the car increased as petrol costs rose, inspiring other manufacturers to release a slew of hybrid variants. Prius vehicles, including a plug-in hybrid electric type, continue to be among America's most fuel-efficient gas-powered automobiles. However, as the car industry moves to a battery-powered future, the Japanese manufacturer has fallen out of favor with some of its former staunch followers, owing to the Prius and Toyota's reluctance to invest in all-electric vehicles. The truth is that a hybrid today is not green technology. The Prius hybrid is half-powered by a polluting combustion engine, just like any other gas-powered automobile. While General Motors, Volkswagen, and others have pledged billions of dollars in recent years to build all-electric cars that do not need gas-powered engines, Toyota has trailed behind, just lately making comparable commitments. But isn't it too late? Just recently, Toyota has started investing in a portfolio of electrified vehicles, ranging from primary hybrids like the Prius to the disappointing bZ4X electric crossover, which was unveiled last year. Unfortunately, Toyota found its way to the bottom of a survey of 10 manufacturers' decarbonization efforts by Greenpeace, noting poor development in its supply chain and sales of zero-emission cars such as EVs that accounted for less than 1% of total sales. Despite business objectives to be carbon neutral by 2050, the approach has put the world's biggest car maker against many of its competitors and raised doubts about its commitment to a sustainable route ahead for the industry. Toyota is hardly the only company with such aspirations. Stellantis, Ford, and some other Japanese manufacturers are making comparable investments in electric vehicles. However, a cautious attitude to EVs is noticeable in the hands of the Toyota. While boosting investments in all-electric cars, Toyota officials claim that the company's approach is appropriate. The reason is that not all parts of the globe will embrace EVs at the same rate, owing to vehicle costs and a lack of infrastructure. Recently, the senior vice president of sales at Toyota Motor North America said that, as much as people want to talk about EVs, the marketplace isn't mature enough and ready enough. At this level, we will need to have mass movement. From the records, we gathered that Toyota sold 10.5 million cars in roughly 200 countries and regions in 2021. Quite an impressive record, right? This is more than any other global manufacturer. You can see the difference in the comparison. The world's second largest car maker, Volkswagen, sold 8.9 million cars in 153 countries. So why can't Toyota just do both and catch the growing trend of electric cars in the most developed countries? In contrast, GM and its joint ventures sold 6.3 million vehicles in North America and Asia. Toyota feels that all electric cars are one approach, not the only one, to the company's objective of being carbon neutral. I'm not investing in the far future, expecting that battery electrics will account for 100% of the market. I simply don't see it, said Jim Adler, founding managing director of Toyota Ventures, the automaker's startup financing arm. It will be a very different market. In the midst of this, Toyota officials predict that various parts of the globe will embrace electric cars at differing speeds, primarily dependent on accessible energy, infrastructure, and raw materials for the batteries that power the vehicles. However, Toyota has invested substantially in hydrogen fuel cell electric cars, notably the second generation of the Mirai, in addition to plug-in electric and hybrid vehicles. Hydrogen fuel cell cars work similarly to battery electric vehicles. Still, they are fueled by the energy created from hydrogen and oxygen, with water vapor as the sole waste. They can be filled with a nozzle nearly as rapidly as typical petrol and diesel cars. BEV, fuel cell, plug-in hybrids, all of those reduction tools are going to happen, and they're all significant, according to one Toyota executive. Nonetheless, hydrogen fuel cell cars have the same issues as all electric vehicles: pricing, a lack of infrastructure, and market comprehension. Toyota also said that it is taking time to investigate e-fuels, which officials claim are carbon-neutral fuels that can replace gasoline in non-electric cars. Toyota is undoubtedly on the cautious side when it comes to electric vehicles, but that isn't always a negative thing for such a vast carmaker. From a global standpoint, several markets are moving at various rates. Although the United States is dragging behind Europe and China in EV adoption, there are other markets with no infrastructure. It makes sense for a global carmaker to adopt a diverse approach to powertrains. For example, a 2022 Toyota Prius hybrid with EPA rating of up to 56 miles per gallon combined begins at about $25,000. That's approximately $17,000 cheaper than the carmaker's all-electric BZ4X SUV. The batteries in electric cars are costly, and the costs continue to rise owing to inflation and increased demand for elements such as lithium, cobalt, and nickel, which are required to manufacture the battery cells. For example, General Motors has offered zero-emissions electric cars solely by 2035. Including its Cadillac and Buick brands by 2030. Several other manufacturers have made similar pledges or established objectives for 50% or more of their cars sold in North America to be all-electric. Toyota aims to sell 3.5 million electric cars annually by 2030, accounting for more than a third of its current sales. These sales include around 1 million vehicles from its premium Lexus brand, which expects to sell EVs solely in Europe, North America, and China by that time. In other news, Toyota announced plans to spend 4 trillion yen, or around $28 billion, on a portfolio of 30 battery-powered electric cars by 2030. At the same time, it is continuing to invest in hybrids such as the Prius and other possible battery electric car options. To supplement its previously disclosed intentions, the company has revealed that it will invest up to $5.6 billion in hybrid and all-electric battery manufacture in Japan and the United States. That may seem like a lot, but it pales compared to GM and Volkswagen. In addition, raw material prices for electric cars more than quadrupled during the coronavirus outbreak. As a result, Toyota's hybrid method is very inexpensive. Toyota also claims that there aren't enough of these minerals to go around. Over the next 10 years or so, there will be huge constraints in lithium supply across the globe, according to Toyota. There will also be a bottleneck in battery-grade nickel due to the number of refineries that must be paid while demand increases rapidly. Given Toyota's reputation for dependability and durability, it's astonishing that the introduction of their first accessible EV went so wrong. Toyota's failure is exacerbated by the fact that it is behind other big automakers in the EV industry, such as GM, Hyundai, and BMW. It's not a good image for Toyota, and it wasn't a promising start in the highly competitive EV industry. Toyota is reacting to the market and regulatory demands for greener vehicles with a dual emphasis. They will continue to allocate engineers to concentrate on enhancing hybrid technology and battery electric cars. Toyota intends to boost the number of employees committed to developing hybrid systems by 30% to satisfy the company's targets. But is this enough for the company size of Toyota? Moving forward, it appears that Toyota will devote fewer resources to cars powered by hydrogen fuel cells and spend most funds into electric hybrid cars. Will their customers be affected by the upcoming changes? Well, let's put it this way. To begin with, most Toyota buyers want more bang for their cash. There's much to be said about acquiring better performing cars without paying much more. So as long as Toyota keeps making reliable cars, its core customers will keep buying. However, Toyota may end up in a bad situation when, for example, California won't allow it to sell any gasoline cars in 2035. How do you feel about Toyota claiming a big push for EVs, but also keeping all its gasoline cars in full production? Is it smart or not so much? Share your thoughts with us. Thanks for watching.